But the question is, even in SaaS companies, they have CROs, but the question is who mans them? Typically, then they'll say, let's take a look at the go-to market. A person who comes from marketing is always going to believe in marketing more than sales. If the CRO is a person from sales, they're going to believe in sales more than marketing. Whether we like it or not, that's what it is. Now, in an ideal world, the person who's in marketing would have spent some time in sales, right? Now, one of the things that's happening is more and more companies are saying, should we have somebody from operations come in? Because RevOps is not about marketing or sales, it's about processes. And I think that's what you said earlier. It's about processes, right? It's about getting your marketing process right. It's about getting your sales process right? And it's also post-sale. A lot of things, if you're owning relationships, a lot of things unfortunately happens in the post-sale process. Now the question is, if you're talking about processes and optimization of processes, then somebody from operations or project management might not be a bad person to do this because they're looking at optimizing the process here as well, right? So for me, it all depends upon how you want to try and do this because everybody comes in with a baggage. As long as it's humans doing it, we're going to make sure that I'm going to take a look at, this is what I know best. So this is where most of the power is going to be. And in one very strange case, I actually had somebody from finance doing RevOps because they're saying all of this matters only if you're making money. So the processes and everything else. So this was one of the most, but it's not very common. But this was a SaaS company again, right? And essentially that's what it is. It comes down to discipline. It comes down to discipline that you want to bring. It's not that all marketing does not have. There are a lot of. I always tell my students. Now I'm going to talk about that. Marketing is not always about creativity. It's also about having a process, right? You need to have a process. Of course, you can create the content. You can be creative in how you do it, but also in sales. And there are so many sales leaders who do not always question the process that they have. And you don't want people. What I think you need to be looking at is people who have this idea that it is a process. It is a process, and we say in India, we need both needs to clap and make sound. We need everybody working together towards that. So for me, that's essentially you run the risk of if you play favorites, if it's failing. But the idea is not about marketing or sales. It's about the processes involved here. And somewhere here, you need to have customers. Your processes should be revolving around the customer. But again, I always say does not mean that the customer is always king or queen. It just means that it's about managing the expectations of the customer in sticking to your process. Because if you don't, everything becomes an exception, right? And then your cost goes up, and finance people don't like it. So that's why finance. So it's about processes, in my opinion. And if you can get to that, then I think organizations are better off. Whether you want to call them a marketing or sales, but if you need a process-oriented thinking, I think that is what is going to help you move towards, call it a CRO or call it whatever it is, right? The idea is that you need to be thinking along those lines.